Hello, hope everybody's well this post Christmas holiday. And tonight, let's talk about Ancient Aliens, everybody's favorite show on the History Channel. There's a lot of entertainment value packed into that show, I will admit, and I have watched it on more than one occasion. However, I also think there's a big flaw in how they present the information because they're missing one very critical theory, which could present some alternative explanations for some of the things that ancient alien theorists discuss. So let's talk about that. But before we begin, you're watching Afterlife Topics and Metaphysics, where we talk about supernatural subjects and all kinds of interesting stuff like that, including life after death, astral projection, you name it. And I would ask you to please hit subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell. Call that the holy trifecta of YouTube, because without those things, this channel is never gonna go anywhere. So I really need your help with that. So to continue, if you look up on the screen here, we'll see one of the common ancient alien memes that goes around the internet and all the alternative media groups. At least whatever alternative media groups still exist, because both YouTube and Facebook have been purging alternative media regardless of what the content is, almost as if there is some kind of higher force working on the clandestine level that doesn't want people's minds to be getting open. I don't know. Well, anyway, we'll talk about that in another video maybe. So here is one of the common memes where we see coincidence, Ecuador. We have this kind of winged creature, probably Quetzalcoatl or some iteration of Quetzalcoatl. And then we see Mesopotamia, a very similar sort of bird-like creature, also depicted in a hieroglyphic. So how can that be accounted for? You may also see a meme that shows the pyramids of the Incan pyramids in Peru, or the Aztec pyramids, and then comparing that to Mesopotamian pyramids and the pyramids of Egypt or wherever else. And again, how is it that different cultures are designing architectural things so similarly? Or more impressively, why are the same gods appearing again and again? Different parts of the world. And it's not just these two examples, there's a lot of these, and this is how the whole ancient aliens thing has really taken off, because people look at this, they think, well, it means it's got to be aliens. This bird-winged reptile type creature, Quetzalcoatl, it must be an extraterrestrial visitor who went to both civilizations. And I don't quite rule that out. That could very well be what's going on. But the thing is, there's something else that ancient alien folks just aren't looking at. It ties into the big picture. It's the concept that there was an internet, and always has been an internet, before there was ever an internet. It's called our minds. We know this through astral projection, remote viewing, a lot of subjects like that. It means that our minds exist in this hyperdimensional space, and it's not contained just inside of the brain, which is just a filtration organ. Of course, tell a materialist this and they'll begin frothing at the mouth, but it's true. And there's literally millions of documents in the CIA website that goes into this, because governments take this stuff very seriously, because it's a national security concern. And there's been psychic spies in all the major countries for probably since the 50s. So given that fact, is it really so weird if two different cultures on different parts of the world are sharing the same entities that they show in their statues or their hieroglyphs, or sharing the same design of architecture? Because let's say a leader of a community, a leader of a tribe, a leader of a city is probably also to be a bit of a spiritual holy man. What is a spiritual holy man able to do? Astral project, go out of body, do all those things. So what do you think the spiritual holy men of Peru are doing at night what do you think the spiritual holy men of Mesopotamia are doing? They're going out of body. They're probably meeting up with each other and sharing ideas. That is not beyond the realm of possibilities. I've talked to many, many people who claim to have out-of-body experiences tandem with other people, or to be shown, taken on trips by their masters incarnate here on this planet. As for these creatures, like this kind of Quetzalcoatl type entity, we also know that there's any kind of entity you can imagine existing on these higher density dimensions, the astral planes, if you want to call them that. And it's completely feasible that the same entity might be visiting different people, in the same night or the same day, whatever. The people in Mesopotamia are having visions of the same entity, and then the people in Peru are having visions of the same entity. This doesn't mean that there's a spaceship where this guy comes out, walks down, and greets everybody in this dimension. Not at all. It could very well be astral experiences happening at night. Maybe the same entities will give blueprints to build pyramids to both sides. How are the pyramids built, you may ask? Well, maybe these entities shared some secrets about how to do that. So, as you can see, it doesn't necessarily mean there has to be ancient aliens involved, but are astral entities kind of like aliens themselves? Are they also extraterrestrials? Well, this topic, it starts to get a little bit, we begin going into some gray areas, because one person's extraterrestrial could be another person's astral entity. And either way, they would refer to them as gods. So if multiple people have the same vision, the same out-of-body experience with the same entity, that's going to be considered a god. And I think that's more likely than a spaceship coming down, because, if there were extraterrestrials, why would they even bother to come here if they can put their consciousness anywhere? Why not just travel astrally and visit us and make contact with us that way, instead of trying to get a ship all the way across the cosmos to visit us physically? It doesn't seem likely to me. So it doesn't devalue the ancient alien people, because, the crux of what they're saying may be true, that we had visitors of some different level than what we understand. But it's just, I have to chuckle when I hear these ideas that, it's literally a UFO, a spaceship that comes down, and this creature comes out of it and it was guiding and directing everybody. It doesn't have to be that way at all. It could be these cultures were, completely geographically separate but connected through the mind, either to each other or with intermediary entities, kind of guiding them along. And that makes sense to me. It also makes sense why there's so many rituals in ancient cultures, because they want to connect with these entities. So they take ayahuasca, they take, mushrooms and things like that, because they want to be able to commune with the people in charge, these higher entities. So again, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're extraterrestrials, because they also might not be extraterrestrial at all. They might be intraterrestrial, they might just be, cosmic, astral. It might not be that they came from a planet. They may have come from this planet. We don't know. So those are some ideas to chew on. The ancient aliens folks get a little bit stuck in their ways, and so it's difficult to present new ideas. But I think this perspective, it opens up new possibilities. And also it's a little bit, more realistic. Doesn't mean that there's no ETs, because I also think ETs are a whole different ball game. And ETs share certain qualities with astral encounters, with astral entities. And I think I'm going to talk about that in a video coming up, so stay tuned. Well, this is Cyrus Kirkpatrick. Thanks for coming by. You can visit afterlifetopics.com. You can check out my books like Understanding Life After Death, The Afterlife and Beyond. You can check them out in the channel description by clicking Show More. I have classes that run twice a week at Afterlife University, where we talk about all types of metaphysical subjects. And I always appreciate any support. You can become a patron by becoming a student. That's $30 a month. And you'll be delving way deeper into these topics than what you get in these videos. So that'd be one way to support the work that we do at Afterlife Topics. In the meanwhile, I'll catch you on the next video.